I've worked in the assurance industry for 20 years now, which is the industry that develops standards, but also goes on to check organisations against those standards. And what the assurance industry does is it makes things better, it improves things, it finds solutions to problems, it creates answers for issues and really helps organisations to address some of the fundamental issues that we have, whether it's about the environment and sustainability, whether it's about quality, whether it's about health and safety. 5 years ago, my son Adam took his life, and Adam's death, for about 3 years, I was stuck. I knew there was a silver lining, but I couldn't work it out. And I actually realised that my industry was the answer, that we have all these wonderful standards that do amazing things to make things better. Why can't we do that with suicide and the issue of suicide? And inspired by the BSI work on the menopause and menstrual health standard, the ISO work on psychosocial health and safety, I started talking to BSI and other standards developers, to people in suicide prevention, to industry about, is there an answer? Can we create a standard that helps reduce the rate of suicide in the UK and maybe ultimately across the globe? One of the fabulous things about this standard is that BSI have it as one of their free issue standards, so there's no cost attached to actually obtaining the standard. It creates awareness within an organisation of the fact that there are answers. Secondly, it provides some solutions in terms of interventions. It can actually help organisations to do the right things. And I think then the third thing it does is it acts as a support mechanism by providing different solutions. And if you look in the standard itself, it actually has some annexes in the standard that provide some really practical toolkits to help HR people, to help leadership come up with solutions that help an organisation to be aware of suicide and to come up with solutions that will help prevent it. The first thing I would really love this standard to do is to give people confidence. Confidence to talk about the issue, confidence to be aware that they can actually help. And I think by giving people the confidence, it gets rid of some of those taboos, it gets rid of some of the fears that people actually have about addressing the subject, about, first of all, when the fact that in the UK or in England and Wales, the last set of figures said that there were over 6,000 deaths from suicide. You look in Australia, more people die from suicide than are killed on the roads. So there are real issues here that people are often frightened about talking about, frightened about addressing. So this standard gives people the confidence to go about and solve the issues. It also gives them ideas on the policies that they can be adopting to help address the organisational issues around suicide. And thirdly, it also gives us some knowledge. It really is a very practical standard that helps people out, helps guide what they can do so they can pick out parts that can help them. Don't be afraid of addressing the issue, because what people often don't know is that they have that as an issue. They don't know everything about everyone in their organisation. They don't know about the things that are going on in people's lives. So actually some preparedness to be ready for that can be really important, can really help out. I think secondly for leaders, given the numbers that we've talked about, they need to be aware of the fact that there's a risk attached to suicide for them as a business, and that risk also can bring costs for it as well. And I know to some people it's kind of somewhat dirty to talk about that with suicide, but that's the reality. There are costs attached to suicide as well, and so we want to make leaders aware of the fact that there are answers here that can help them out, that can help them be a better organisation and can help save lives. So download it, read it, work out what works for you. As we say, it's a guidance document. You don't have to do everything in here. Work out what is a priority for you. Work out what works for you and your organisation and your people and use that. So just start I think that's the most important thing. Just don't be afraid and start, and then we can do some good.